Live. We're live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 20 of Spergonomics. I didn't think it would be 20 weeks. Can you believe it? It's been 20 weeks of this.
It feels
the
too
humanity.
long.
All the humanity. It's been 20 weeks of Spergonomics, guys. 20 episodes. Nothing really special because it's not 50. So maybe when we get to 50, we might do something special.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't know what that is, and it'll be completely last minute, most likely. But I will come up with something pretty damn good. So
So confident are we?
So confident are we that we can make the 50th amazing? But I don't know. Anyway, we've got a few things to talk about today. For example, I know Alex and I talked about one already on another stream, you traitor. But whatever.
I'm sorry, Scotch invited me to do a live stream.
Scotch, he's mine.
What do you mean he's yours?
Spicy. We have the love triangle going on.
This ain't a love triangle. This is a fight over property. Just so you know.
This is. So it is a love triangle. What are you saying then?
What are you saying that objects of affections are property?
Yes.
Wow. Sexist.
And Cap.
And.
But anyway, I didn't even introduce you. How you doing, Gay Kazai?
Terrible.
Oh, why are you feeling terrible? What's wrong with
I
you?
exist.
Well, yeah, that alone is pretty terrible.
I exist. I feel terrible. I don't like it. I want the free trial to end. How do I cancel the free trial?
There's several ways, but remember, it's to quote Filthy Frank, it's it's sideways for attention, long ways for results.
I see. Alright.
And with us is Chadus Maximus himself, Chicago liberal. How you doing?
I'm doing alright. I want this fucking quarantine to end.
Yes, we all want it to end. Also, our guest is in the wrong thing. Why is he down there?
Oh shit! I'll go move him in.
Yeah, he said earlier that he won't be much use in intelligent conversation. He was right.
Well, none of us are intelligent, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Well, you're not.
Yeah, that's what I meant when I said all of us.
Here he is. Speak.
Speak.
Can he not speak?
Italian boy, speak.
Don't give him the role. You don't have him speak then. There we go.
Speak.
Damn, we're slowly turning into Sardonic.
Well, at least not speaking. So when he says hello, we'll say hello back, or just ignore him like he can't hear us.
Damn.
So today we need to press F. We need Fs in. Yeah, you're muted. Unmute yourself. How can you not unmute? You crazy fool.
Did you just say fool?
He is a fool. What are you doing? It's right there at the bottom where the microphone symbol is.
Are you like an evil genius or something? No, you fool!
You fool! I'm Invader Zim. You fool!
You
You're muted yourself!
You foolish samurai warrior.
You know what? You were right with the gadgets, weren't you?
Huh?
I told you I wasn't smart enough for intelligent conversation.
Well, this is why it's
even
called
realize I had
Spergonomics.
myself
Welcome to
muted.
Spergonomics.
Well, also you are Italian, so like.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also you are a germ boy, so let's get that
Oof.
straight here.
Oof.
Dude,
Damn,
I'm not a
and
germ
with
boy.
And with me being Japanese, the Axis powers are back in town.
Oh shit!
Oh god.
Oh shit!
The boys
Oh
are
god.
back in
I'm,
The
town.
boys
I'm
are back.
outnumbered. Who do you
Oh,
think
you gotta
you're
get a-
kidding?
Born in 1940.
Do we have any Russians in the server?
No.
You
Maybe
guys
he'll
have
help
to
you out.
carry me. You guys have to carry me the whole time.
More like I have to carry you.
Mamma mia. This war effort is too much.
If an Albanian comes in the chat, just get out. It's not worth your
What
time.
They
the
beat
fuck?
Albania.
We must have
I mean
out
Greek.
spaghetti.
They beat Greece.
The Greeks, sorry. Greeks and Albanians, they're the same thing anyway. Who cares?
Oof. But anyway, we need some Fs for Bernie Sanders, guys. Press F.
No, we don't.
I don't want to press F.
Why?
I want to
Press
rip the
F.
F key off.
You have to pay your respects for failure. I don't know.
No, we don't.
He tried so hard. Oh, what the fuck?
Where's
How's
the
song go?
Where's the
I
button for me to
tried.
urinate on his grave?
That would be D.
Okay, D.
I tried so hard and got so far. In the end, it doesn't even
In the
matter.
end, you won't get your refunds.
No refund.
He's claiming that he will refund them, but whether or not he actually will remains to be seen.
Right
Fucking
now,
ass.
he's using it to fund his campaign staff still because it's quarantine. They probably won't be able to get jobs, so that way they
Good.
It's their own
They
fault
already
for being
can't get
campaign
jobs
staff.
anyway. They're socialists.
can. I know, but hold on. There was something. There was a Reddit post from like 4 years ago that was still relevant today. I don't know if I want to find it because
Because it's
see.
Reddit.
yeah, that. But like it was still pretty insightful. Here, let me see if I can find it, and I'll read it out loud.
Damn, you can read.
Unfortunately, yeah, I learned by myself. I learned all by myself.
Well, what I like is this time around the Bernie Bros can't say that it was rigged against him. I mean, they're still trying to, but they can't say that there's evidence for it like there was in 2016. It seems like this time he was beaten hands down. I mean, when you're getting 50% in your own home state, well, you know,
Yeah.
the state that he runs, Vermont, come on.
But even if Elizabeth Warren dropped out, that there isn't necessarily that those guaranteed that those voters would have gone to Bernie. A lot of them would have also gone to Biden.
It depends.
Most of them would have actually gone to Biden.
Yeah, because like Warren's base is mostly just like wealthy, educated people, university educated people. So like, they probably would have gone to Biden because Bernie tends to not do well with those people.
Also, I like how he was trying to say, we won the ideological argument. No, you didn't. That's why you lost. Like, why
Jeremy,
did
does
No,
Jeremy
you didn't.
Corbyn
That's
do
why
that
you
thing?
won.
He said we won the
Everywhere.
argument, but it's the same thing. Like,
Oh my
Right.
god, he's doing
I
full
found the
Corbyn.
post. By the way, this is from 2016 after Bernie dropped out then. Before Bernie Sanders, it was Ron Paul. Before Ron Paul, it was Dennis Kucinich. Before Dennis Kucinich, it was Howard Dean. Before Howard Dean, it was Ralph Nader, and so on and so forth, back to Eugene McCarthy in 1968. For nearly 50 years, the middle-class white college ideologues have latched onto this candidate or that, firmly believing that for their political awakening has miraculously coincided with discoveries of great truths that escaped the brainwashed morons that make up the electorate, and which just happened to align perfectly with your own political socio-economic interests. And this great man is going to be the one to take the country to the promised land. And it's always the same story. Of course he's going to win. I like him. And I usually get what I want. And he's popular. I mean, everybody I know likes him. And I know all sorts of people at the university I chose because its student body matches my hometown's income level, ethnicity, region, and politics. And everyone on the other websites I visit like him. And there are millions of people on the websites. I visit these websites because their user base and content creators mostly match my own identity. I literally do not know anybody who supports his opponent. I do not consider the previous statement to be indicative of my own limited viewpoint, but rather consider it to be damning to his opponent. And look, I voted for him a bunch of times in online polls and deleted my cookies and switched my IP address and voted for him again and again and again. And he's totally dominating the polls. See, I knew he was winning. I'll post about how he's winning on some sort of websites. And hey, everybody else on these websites is doing the same thing. I bet he's winning. Of course he's winning. How could anybody not support my candidate? His opponent is basically the same as a member of the other party. And actually, their voting record is 90% identical to my own candidate's. But I don't really know that much about either candidate. I don't really know who either was 12 months ago. But I'm super excited now. The media isn't reporting favorably on my own candidate. They project he will lose, but they're corrupt. They're bought out and paid for. I don't even read them anymore. Nobody does. Time to show the world that their lies won't work. Time for the primaries. We lost. Fuck. I literally cannot comprehend how this might have happened.
How long does this go?
It's the last paragraph. The media said this would happen. The media are a bunch of corrupt liars. I guess the system is just as corrupt as the media is. This is not a good story. This is not good for democracy. Fuck this entire fucking corrupt system. I participated in it, but I didn't get anything. What the fuck? Fuck this noise. Fucking corrupt. Bastards and goddamn cunt brains for sheep that vote for them, and the entire system is broken. The parties are identical. The true democracy is a sham, and I'll never fucking vote again. A bunch of thought and paid for by hypocrites. Fuck this, fuck you, fuck everything. Now there are problems in this world. You fucking deserve the problems. You bastards are the people to rise up because the system is broken. Why even bother? I am never voting again.
The thing
And
is,
that was
right,
written 4 years ago.
but the thing is,
Wanna
right,
know-
Ron Paul doesn't really apply to that because he didn't really have college intellectuals supporting him. It was really more
That,
libertarians
and all-
and adults, you know,
That's
people who
and
are small
also
business
Ron
owners.
Paul actually stood some.
What was
Actually
that?
stood what?
Ron Paul was actually pretty favored by the Republicans until their more favored candidate then started to gain some steam.
Was that
Yeah,
thingy,
I know, but I still think
Romney?
the post is mostly true though, because
Yeah,
I mean,
mostly.
because like you
I
see
just don't
these
like
people.
how they equated Ron Paul with commies.
Yeah, I know. I mean, but you also had
Then
other
also
figures like him.
libertarians. Well, and libertarians also believe in civic duty. We all, other than the ANCAPs, but that's because they don't believe perpetuating governments in any way, shape, or form. So they
'Cause they're
wouldn't have voted for Ron Paul
cringe.
anyway.
They're cringe.
Bro, when are we gonna get President Dennis Prager?
Never.
Hell
He's too
yeah.
old. He's too old.
Prager
He's like
2024.
Prager 2024.
Dude, Biden and Trump are both in
Yeah,
their
but
70s,
he's
That God
he's
is not only not good.
Yeah, but you
that
gotta
God
remember,
is
he's a
cruel,
think tank
that
kinda
God
guy.
made a world filled with liberals.
Yeah, but Trump doesn't look like a senile old man.
yeah, but what
Uh.
you've got to what you got to realize is that Dennis Prager's not a politician. He's the guy who works in the think tank. He's the one who puts out.
Neither was Donald Trump.
Yeah, but you know, yeah, but you got to understand, Prager works in politics, but not as a politician. He works as like a propagandist, kind of. He's an activist. I don't think, one, he would make necessarily a good president, and two, I don't think
Mitch.
he wants to. So,
But you realize that we're joking, right?
well, I'm
No,
Can
I'm
we
not
have
joking,
fun,
bro.
please?
I
I'm
thought I
being
was just saying.
100% serious.
Yeah,
Anyway,
can we just have fun, please?
Who the
Anyway,
fuck would vote for
I do-
Dennis Prager?
Anyway, as I was saying earlier, though, this whole win the argument thing, I'm actually going to make a video on this because it's getting to the point where it's a bit silly. And I understand
Yeah.
why they say it. They're trying to still appear superior. They're still trying to appear as if, there's some pluses, there's some silver linings to this defeat, right? And it's like, no, there's nothing.
Yeah.
You lost. Deal with it. Think about...
Yeah.
Well, I'll get into this later, but don't think about the next election. You've got to think about the next couple of elections. But you're not.
I'm going to end this once and for all.
And the thing is, like,
You
what
have
argument did they win?
lost.
What argument did they win?
I don't
Who
know.
was convinced
Bernie Sanders
that they're-
lost by more than 3 million votes in this primary. I don't know who.
Simple.
And there's been no
Bernie Sanders has
evidence
won
of
the
foul play
argument
like there
that
was last time.
he is on the way out.
I reckon if Clinton was there, I think she still would have won this year.
Oh, God,
Yeah.
she would have.
His movement has run out of steam. Like, he's lost quite a lot of people to Trump. Some people have gone independent, and he couldn't. He claimed that he built this amazing base, didn't he, in his speech, saying it was dropping out. It's like, what base?
Well, he did build a huge base, but here's the thing: that
They don't-
base was really shit because they didn't vote for him.
Yeah, because they're young, and young people don't go out
Yeah, I
and
know.
vote.
But the thing is, Biden had a better coalition behind him because he had suburban women, he had black people, and he had old school Democrats. He just had a stronger coalition.
Not an older coalition.
I mean,
willing
Bernie
to go
had
out.
like young people and Hispanics. That's about it.
I would say that not
And
even
then-
most Hispanics were for him, really.
And even then, the Hispanic turnout to Trump has actually been higher than the Hispanic turnout for Bernie, too.
Yeah,
Yep.
Which is hilarious.
because there was a hell of a lot of conservative ones down south. West,
Yeah,
really,
it's called-
isn't it? I would say.
It's called the Cuban.
Well, there's the
Yeah,
Cubans, then there's the people who live
Literally,
in Arizona.
Bernie
and
Sanders
also the
Texas.
Puerto
praising
Ricans
Fidel
that-
Castro right before the Florida primary, which was like, dude, come on.
Yeah, I mean, when you actually look at it, the Caribbean Hispanics are all incredibly right-wing. Like, the
Yeah.
Puerto Ricans who live in the United States, by and large, are Republicans.
They are.
Same with...
It depends
yeah.
where they live, right? In New York, I can't imagine them voting.
Yeah,
that way.
in New York, they're Democrat, but in, like, Chicago, no, they're actually Republican.
Although I know one Puerto Rican who wasn't a Democrat in New York City.
Yeah,
Actual
you're always going to
Justice
have
Warrior.
outliers.
I know. I'm just saying.
Wait,
Actual
he's Puerto
Justice
Rican,
Warrior.
is he?
Well,
Apparently, I was at a live.
there's-
I was in I was in the week after Super Tuesday. I was in a live stream with him, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm Puerto Rican." I was like, "Wait, what?"
He looks like an
There's
Anglo. I'm not
also
gonna
the
lie.
There's also the Dominicans and Trinidadies as well.
Yeah.
Really, my people.
How do
Yeah.
the Jamaicans vote?
Jamaicans depends how old they are. At least over
Yeah,
here.
well, and also there's not really.
Oh, okay.
There's quite a few Dominicans though,
Mm.
especially in baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah, he couldn't. I think also he looks like he's weak, even more so, and like he had yet again more issues when he's on the stage and people just gate crash him and take over. Again, that's not that doesn't make you look like a leader. It looks like somebody who could be just a pushover. Like Putin, if he had to deal with Bernie Sanders, it'd be a cakewalk for him. He would bully him. In fact, anybody could bully Bernie Sanders. Who couldn't bully Bernie Sanders? Even Trudeau could bully Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, dude.
Actually, to be fair, I remember there was like a small little drama around Trudeau where he accidentally pushed into some female MP, and like it was nothing. He literally just, I guess, barged into her or something. I don't think it was intentional. And they're like, "Oh no, he hurt me." Oh, I thought, well, Chad.
Who was this?
Oh no, he was sorting something out. Yeah, he was Trudeau. There was some kerfuffle in the Parliament with some female MP. And
Oh
he
wait,
just
yeah,
goes
yeah.
and
He
sorts her out.
accidentally brushed a MP's arm while walking in the
I think he was also fat patrolling, but I'm not sure. But
Yeah.
Bering did a funny video on that. I remember that. Yeah, even he
I
could
do
bully. Even he could bully Bernie Sanders. You don't want somebody like Bernie Sanders leading you, and that's not only because of his economic policies. He's just not. He's not a leader.
Yeah, he's not very good. I'm like, here's the thing: Joe Biden is so Chad that his wife fucking defends him on stage from protesters. If you remember that.
I didn't see it, but I heard about it.
Yeah, dude, she was literally like pushing back this like vegan animal rights protester like before the security got to get on her, which was fucking hilarious.
Jim Jesus, shut the fuck up, liberal. Ha, lol, Bert.
Imagine being a simp for animals.
Whoops. Imagine being a simp for Bernie, like a simp on head is.
Simp on head.
Shoe on head.
I only follow Shoe on head at this point because I find her funny.
I don't find it funny.
1%. I don't care.
She was coping hard. Did you see her tweets?
She was coping.
I mean, I thought Bernie was coping with it. We won the ideological battle. Like what battle? Like all your movement's gonna.
Well, but the thing
split
is,
and
even
vote
then,
different
even when
parties.
Bernie has lost resoundingly, his movement isn't going away. We're still
Well, no,
gonna have to deal with
socialism's
that.
always going to be there.
The movement's gonna die out within the next few years.
Well, no, it's going to pass on. He's going to pass on the torch to people like AOC. She's going to be the next one. Although I think she's
Yeah,
too young.
and AOC
She's not 35.
AOC
is
is
she?
likely. AOC will also likely lose her seat
So. Oh bloody
in
hell! She's
Congress.
well older than I thought she was. I thought she was like a little bit older than me. She's 30.
Eh.
Yeah, she's too young to be president. So it'll have to be one of the other members of the squad. Like
Oh, the House
Ilhan Omar,
Progressive Caucus.
she's of age. She could become
She
president.
cannot run for president. Actually, she was
she
not
not?
born a U.S.
Oh.
citizen.
She was born in
okay.
Somalia.
What about the other one?
Rashida Tlaib? I
Yeah.
don't know how old she is.
I think Rashida Tlaib was born a Palestinian, so she can't either.
No, she was born in the U.S.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, Detroit. She was born in Detroit, and
Oh,
she's a
that's
good
even
age,
worse.
43.
Yeah,
I mean, she was born there.
but
Doesn't mean she
also-
was raised there, but.
Well, and also, who in the world is going to be voting for Rashida Tlaib other than like some of Detroit?
Well, we don't know
Yeah.
what could happen in a couple of years' time.
But
We
even
really
then,
don't.
like, dude, Detroit and Michigan as a whole resoundingly rejected Sanders. But Joe Biden won every single county in Michigan.
I still don't think that the Democratic voting base has largely rejected the message that Sanders is saying. I still think there's a massive split. It's just that I think at the moment they know they need a more moderate voice to survive, kind of like what's happened with the Labour Party over here. Keir Starmer got in to leadership. You know, I think he deserved it because they were trying to. There was actually some shenanigans going on where they were trying to stop him from getting voted in. Like they were trying to say that he was causing issues in regards to like certain voting methods, but he actually raised up the issue with them, saying, "Hey, these things don't work properly, just so you know." And then they're like, "Oh, it's him. He's doing it. He's the one who's trying to cause shenanigans." It's like, no.
How's Rebecca Long Bailey coping?
She's shadow education minister.
Oh, okay.
Ironic, because she's obviously not very well educated.
No, she's not. No.
What's
And,
even the point of a shadow cabinet? I still don't understand.
Right honourable opposition. They're basically, their job is to call out the government in Parliament. They're part of the checks and balances in our system.
Yeah, Appalachian Boog Boys.
Again, look, when there's a minority government, Parliament bullies them.
Yeah.
Checks and balances. The idea is you have loads of different social forces, all kind of, what's the word? Checking each other. Yeah, I think that's the idea. But the opposition always forget that they're Her Majesty's opposition.
Yeah.
So you're not always meant to be at constant blows with each other. You are actually meant to work together.
Yeah.
Which is why sometimes you get unanimous votes and stuff. Sometimes. So.
Yeah, like the Iraq War, which wasn't unanimous, but the majority of both parties supported it, I believe.
Yeah, they did. And I reckon they still would even now. Because
actually, Keir Starmer was against the Iraq War. He voted against it.
Yeah, well,
Speaking of which, what does Keir Starmer actually want to do politically? Like, what are his...
He wants to bring us back into the EU. I know that.
Ah, cringe.
He wants Labour to die peacefully.
As opposed to die in a blaze of glory. He might as well just go out in a blaze of glory, if you ask me. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
That's one
He's
thing I know.
He's going full on Liberal Party 1920.
What else is there? Actually, the Liberal Party died with a whimper, really. But then they got swallowed by the Social Democrats.
I'd say that's the 1920s was when the Liberal Party really began to die, because that was when they lost a lot of their seats.
Pretty much. Now I'm trying to remember now. What else has he? There's a few things I've seen that he supports.
What's his foreign policy like besides just being generally anti-war?
I don't think he's come out with that yet.
Oh, okay.
So we'll
it's
find
anti-war
out.
And pro-EU. So that's
Legatus, are you gonna say something? Or are you gonna be muted all stream?
Yeah. Bring back the Lib Dems as the main opposition.
No, please no. We don't want them as the main opposition.
Well, you want the Labour as the main opposition.
Look, Lib Dems are... Look, there's literally no difference between the two at this point. But the Lib Dems are more likely to be snake-like. Like, they've proven that they can't be a good opposition, and they've proven that they can't even be decent in government. So, yeah, I'd rather not have them have any amount of power ever again. Also, with the people who are likely to replace Joe Cox... Not Joe Cox. What's she called, Joe? Wait, Lib Dem leaders. Hang on, I forgot her name. Their old
Jessie?
name. No, not Jessie. That's not her name. You're thinking of the Labour person. No.
Oh, Jess Phillips.
Yeah, you're thinking of Jess Phillips, who's Labour. Yeah. It wasn't Joe Cox. It was something else she was called. Let's have a look.
She lost her own seat in the general election, which was hilarious.
Well, Jess Phillips didn't, but the Lib Dem leader did. Joe Swinson. Now they've all called Joanne, aren't they? But Joe Swinson. She's been replaced, and well, let's just say the people who have so far announced their intention to run, it's not good. Like, let's see, the one that sticks out the most is this lady who came out as bi recently. For political points.
Who don't care?
Yeah, nobody cares. It didn't get her the attention she really wanted. But another thing that people forget is she hit her husband in public, like in front of cameras, I think.
Based.
Well, no.
I'm joking.
No,
and she's really like toxic, far commie type, and it's just like, we don't need a. Actually, no. Maybe we do to sink the Lib Dems even further, but I don't know. I don't want her becoming the bloody opposition. Thank you. That's like another Corbyn.
Speaking of coming out, I got something to say.
Congratulations.
I'm coming out as asexual predator.
That's a really bad joke.
Please laugh.
No. Don't laugh, guys.
God damn it.
What's Keir Starmer's opinion on Israel? Well, I don't know his opinion on Israel, but he has been apologising for the rampant anti-Semitism.
As he should.
Yeah, it's not enough, though. You can't just apologise, you've got to root it out.
Dude, Mark Collette was like, why is Labour apologising to the Jews of Britain? I'm like, I don't know. Maybe because Labour was massively anti-Semitic.
I get why he says it, but for different reasons. Because really, what they should be doing is just rooting them out. Apologies aren't enough. It's just words. Actions
Yeah,
is
I know.
what you need. And if you can't show
Has he
actions,
been purging them of the party yet?
no, I don't think he will. Momentum's going to be there for a while. I don't know if he even has the nous and the ruthlessness to do so. I don't think he's that type. He couldn't even. Here's the thing: like he was running the Crown Prosecution Service, as you probably know.
For Jimmy Savile.
Well, yeah, Jimmy Savile basically was investigated by the police, and they had enough evidence to take him to trial, and he said no. So, if he doesn't have the backbone to at least put him on trial, then yeah, I don't want this guy as my prime minister. Sorry. And people can say, well, oh, the system. He was part of the system. Oh, we got a super chat by John Sislowski. That joke did make me. Well, he laughed at your joke, Alcazai. He laughed at your joke.
Yay! I made laugh.
We shouldn't have a policy on Israel at all. Well, they
Why
are an
not?
ally in the region.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, they're kind of your main regional ally, so you need a policy on your main
The
regional
policy is
ally.
just recognize Israel, in it. That's
The policy should be recognize Israel and sell them stuff.
sell them
Boom.
stuff. They sell us stuff. I think we get some goods from there as well. Like fruit
Yeah,
and stuff.
and
Kosher products from Israel. Actually, apparently, according to Nassim Nicholas Taleb, at least in America, I don't know in Europe, but all drinks are kosher. Isn't that interesting? Yeah.
Like all drinks in Britain are kosher.
No, in America,
How?
because it's easier to sell kosher. And
nice.
It's like
I
and it's
can
just-
now go
they're
and
just
feed
drinks,
my
aren't
pet
they?
Wendigo energy drinks, and it's all kosher.
there's like a particular symbol on it that says it's kosher or something. I mean, it's just a drink, It's like fruit and stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
but I think they do it just so. I think they do it just so they can sell more. Really, that's what it is. It's in Skin in the Game. If you read Skin in the Game, he explains it. It's really interesting. Asymmetries of life, guys. So anyway, the ally of the UK is Jordan. Jordan's not our ally. What are you on about? Since when was Jordan our ally? Yes, they visited us recently, but they're not an
Jordan.
ally.
I mean, Jordan also has all of your former Challenger ones, so they
True,
actually
we-
are an ally.
Okay, an ally, but not like Israel, though, is it? They're not. Gonna...
Jordan allows the U.S. and U.K. to base aircrafts there pretty
True.
constantly.
I
So
guess
no, they're a
yeah.
pretty staunch
yeah,
ally.
Oh, yeah, I guess so. I mean, compared to Israel, not as a bigger one, but
Well, yeah, they're a smaller ally than Israel, but they're still an ally.
obviously, okay, fair enough. I'll grant you that. But
It's kinda like
I
Bahrain
think
and
it's
Kuwait.
just that Roy in the chat suggesting that they're our true ally or something when really they're one of many in the region.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about since 1946, considering all the wars that was going on then, but certainly after the wars with Israel, I think they're definitely an ally.
No, with the Arab Legion, yeah, they were an ally, pretty consistent. In fact, since 1946 for Britain.
Yeah.
Weren't they involved in the war though with Israel? The War of
Yeah, but
Independence?
also the British just made sure to not piss off the Jordanians because Jordan was a strategic ally in the region.
Yeah, I guess so.
Especially
yeah.
with
I do know
things
that
like
the
the Baghdad
troops were
Pact.
tasked with just saving civilians, not getting involved in the fight.
Yeah,
That Jack Churchill, the mad lad who shot a German with
Yeah.
a longbow, he was there.
the absolute
when it
madman
kicked
Jack
off, yeah.
Churchill.
And he managed to somehow get this convoy of civilians out of the way of Arabs and Israelis fighting. Somehow.
Yep.
I'll be right back, guys. Carry on the show.
So,
Should just start making fun of Italians until Joseph speaks again.
yeah. Anyways, Italians are basically black.
Yeah, but hey, be sure to not say that in front of the Italians, or else you're gonna be having to hit on you by Mambanzo Mandinanzo.
I swear, I know somebody with that last name. I...
Joseph, literally, stop muting yourself and talk in the stream.
Yeah. Come on.
Mixed race couple deleted.
God. It's great that you could be racist against Italians because it's acceptable.
Yeah.
Although, I was being pretty racist in our group chat with Harry on Discordia and British Knight yesterday.
But yeah, you can't, repeat back with that.
Yeah.
happened.
I'm
Yeah.
back. Back in
It
black.
was-
Hit the sack.
Dude, I love those acronym memes though. They're so fucking great.
Nah, I still think that Appalachian Boot Boys is the best.
So anyway, what else did you guys want to talk about?
Buddy of mine was suspended off Twitter.
Yeah, but
Nobody cares
that
about him.
happens. I get
Yeah,
suspended. on
nobody
Twitter.
cares, sorry.
No offense.
That happens every day.
There was
to
something we
several
wanted to
hundred
talk
people.
about. Let's see, Bernie lost. There was
Corona-chan.
Yeah, but Corona-chan is everywhere. Oh, you reminded me. Trump has decided to. I don't know if he's considering or he has done it, but apparently they're considering
Withholding
freeze.
funding to the WHO.
Yeah, well, I was going to say that. Yeah,
Sanctioned.
yeah. Like I think the more I look into it, the more they're clearly a front for China.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, how could the way he was talking about China and how, their methods. Well, first there was the guy who was interviewed on their media, and how he was praising for what they were doing. And it's like, mate, thousands of them died. They're welding people shut in their apartments, and apparently that's a great response. And not only that, what were they doing while China was making sure that nobody heard about it until it was too late? Like, I'm sure the World Health Organization must have known something was going on, because all these people are in their pocket. And then we've got the head of the organization himself is a militant commie.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's a Maoist, but he's also pro-China. No wonder.
What's his name?
I don't know, some Ethiopian in it. I don't know.
Did
But,
somebody say black people?
well,
Oh, I did. I was talking about you.
Oh,
is that because he's Italian?
I'm not
Maybe.
a southern Italian.
Where's your family from?
From the north.
Wait, were you the one where we found out that the area where they were from is actually in the south? Or was that
No,
somebody else?
I had mixed it up. I'm not from fucking Tuscany.
Oh, you're not from Tuscany now, are you?
Where are you from?
Why do you need to know, germ boy?
I just need to know if you're being truthful here.
I'm not from the south. I'm not Somalian.
See, the thing about Somalians is they don't even consider...
Buddha South Italian.
Now, I met a Somalian girl once in a debate club, and she told me that Somalians don't consider themselves African because they think, and there might be some evidence of this, I'm not sure, that because they have ancient Egyptian blood in them, that they're not African, they're more like, I guess, Middle East, I don't know. She didn't really quite say what they were, they're just Somalian, I guess. And then she took off her hijab, and I was like, oh my god, I didn't think she could do this, to show me her hair. Like, look at her hair, you see, it's not typical African hair. And I thought, there's typical African hair? I didn't know that. I mean, I got what she was saying, but I thought, well, that's interesting, the more you know.
Look
But,
at me. I have African hair now.
Also, apparently the UN is running
Look at
out of
me.
money. Look at me.
Based.
Why are you running?
Right? That's
What are you
Nigeria.
running?
Why are you running? Why are you
Why are
running?
you running?
Why are you gay?
Why are you gay? Alkazai, why are you gay?
Because I committed several war crimes in Syria.
Oof.
Oh,
Was that taking a massive shit like you were saying you were?
God, don't
Yay.
you just hate it when you're in a nice long conversation with a girl, and then it's brought up that you committed several war crimes in the former Yugoslavia?
Wait, Alkazai's
and
had
then
a
they
nice
leave?
conversation with a woman? I can't believe that.
Yeah, neither can I.
don't you just hate it when women are Assad pilled?
His wife
Don't
I
certainly
just
is.
hate it when women aren't Assad pilled.
Does she just
Aren't
hate it when
Assad
women
pilled.
only eat hot chip and lye?
Assad. Bashar,
Sargon of Assad.
Bashar, God, and Syria. That's the song. If you've heard that one.
God, Syria, and Sargon of Akkad.
Saga, Nova, God.
Sargon of Akkad.
Mind you, speaking of Sargon, I was trying to watch his Hearts of Oak stream. For those of you who are American and don't know who they are, they're like a free speech organization. I'm still not quite sure what they are.
I just know that it's a pretty Chad March from the Royal Navy. Heart of Oak.
Yeah. Anyway, he was on the stream with them, and he was getting griped by British groypers.
Griped.
Yeah, that's what when they invade your chat and they start trolling.
Oh yeah, that happened to me in Scotch the other day.
Yeah, they do that a lot, and they keep telling him to debate Mark Collette, even though he has done.
Why debate Mark Collette? He's not worth it.
Well, because I guess he's risen in not prominence, but he's become a noted figure because of Patriotic Alternative. But
well, has he been a figure in politics for like years now?
No, he's not a figure in politics. I think this is his first attempt at it. I think it's some kind of. I don't think they're a political party.
Because I thought he was like a BNP figure for a little while.
He was in the BNP potentially. I don't know, but because I heard at first he was, or maybe this was another British guy, but he started off as a libertarian and then became fash. But I don't know. That might be somebody else.
Why is there such a libertarian alt-right pipeline?
Well, there isn't really.
There really isn't. It's just that people like.
There are people who've done it,
those,
but when you think about it, the people who are saying there's a pipeline, actually it's a pipeline to communism.
Well, and also they really weren't libertarian to begin with.
Oh, well, at the very least they were on the fringes,
Yeah.
But I don't really see what would make somebody understand how the state can be pretty bad. The state's actually pretty damn good. I don't know.
Actually, I like Hitler.
Why would you simp for Hayek and then end up simping for Adolf? I don't know.
Why simp for
Adolf Hayek?
There's one good Austrian, and it's not Hitler.
Why simp for continental philosophy when you
actually-
could not do that?
Well, actually, yes, there's a few Austrians.
Yeah, actually, there's two good Austrians.
Mises, yeah.
Yeah, Mises and Hayek.
Wait, no, Bomberwerk, he was Austrian. And
He was
Menger.
okay.
And there was another guy, but I forgot his name. But yeah, Hayek and Mises, the two Austro boys who are the best.
Yeah.
Venus.
Scrump Monkey, what are you doing in here?
I just came here to say Venus.
Venus, that's
A
it.
wild Scrump has appeared.
Not
you
P.
invade-
B.
What?
Right, I'm gonna
Why'd you
stop
invade-
shitting up your stream now.
Nah,
No, come back.
I thought he said penis.
Venus.
Venus.
I'm not interested unless he said penis.
Am I the only one who had the Pokemon music in my head then? A wild Scrump Monkey appears.
That was nice.
Am I the only one who thinks that we're celebrating 20 episodes by just being cursed?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
The
why
thing
I'm
that gets
here.
me right about the griping is it's a really interesting tactic. Like, it's kind of like it's an agitprop thing that they're doing if you think about it. So like when they were going to Turning Point USA and asking Charlie Kirk really, really hard questions to see what his reaction would be.
Mm-hmm.
We should do that. Why can't we do that, man?
We
to
did that
them.
one time to Anita Sarkeesian, and then like, what's his face? Quinton Reviews became BreadTube.
Yeah. Was that VidCon or something? I can't remember, but
VidCon 2017.
yeah, a lot of people went berserk after that. Others remain the same, thankfully. But anyway, what I was trying to say is, what they do is now I might be I've not really given this much thought, but I will, and there will be a video of all this eventually. But I've been watching a guy called Freedom Alternative Views. He's basically a propagandist. he researches propaganda and stuff, and he's a libertarian, and he was discussing agitprop and stuff. And one of the things is to get a group of people into an organisation, or just even in like a gathering, and they have to be the loud minority. We have to distribute them equally, so that they look like there's more of them than there actually are. And that's what the gripers do. So whenever they're in a chat, right, and you start seeing them, spurg out and start saying random things, because they'll say the same thing over and over again now, I've noticed. So like, say the 14 words, and they'll keep spamming it in the chat over and over again. Or debate Mark Collett, because it's trying to get a reaction out of Sargon and a reaction out of us to say something bad. So like, the ideal reaction would be, no, I don't want to debate him, I don't debate the likes of you. So then they can say, you see, he's not for free speech, he's not for free debate. He won't even debate us. Look, he's got something to hide. He can't handle our arguments and stuff like that. And that's what they're doing. And I thought, well, how eager are they really to have a debate?
Take them up on the offer and force them to actually have to show up.
You can do that, or you can gripe their chats.
I debated a person on stream.
We should be doing the same thing to them to make it like they're being they should be raided back because they're being subversive, and the only way you deal with that kind of stuff is to do it back at them.
I'll do it. I just like raiding for the sake of raiding.
Because the more they do that, the more control they get, and the less we have. And I mean, luckily for us, they're not as powerful as SJWs who do it. But the SJWs are now more entrenched than they used to be. So they don't need to do that as much. Though some of them do. Otherwise it wouldn't be people who went to RedTube. But that's besides the point. They're noticing that the tactics that they use to like the SPLC, right? They never used to be this bad, right? It used to be like a group of like 11 people who ran the thing, but then in 1986 the original people all left because the movement got the organisation got subverted from the bottom, and then the people who took over were the ones who subverted it, and that's when they became the people who basically decide that a cartoon frog is a hate symbol and all that. Whereas beforehand, they weren't doing that.
You talking about the Southern Poverty Law Center or the ADL?
The SPLC, not the ADL. Okay. I didn't say A, did I?
Well, you were the ADL was the one who declared it a hate.
Oh, I thought it was SPLC.
No.
Oh, they do similar things. Well, they called Janice Fiamengo.
They called Ayaan Hirsi Ali far right or some shit.
Yes, they did. Ayaan Hirsi Ali of all people. Sam Blake, if you time out some plebs, I will remove your moderating for good. Roy, I agree with you, don't feed the troll, but you can also overfeed the troll. But anyway, I don't. What do you guys think about what I'm trying to say?
Meh.
Well, you can't just sit on your ass and do nothing.
Okay, well, we stream raid them, but I'm just more in it for the fun of stream raiding.
Yeah, but you've got to understand that there has to be a goal at the end of it, and the reason why they raid us is to make us look bad. Because there are people in the chats there who aren't even they're not in the chat, they're just watching, and if any of us say the wrong thing, that puts seeds of doubt in their heads. Remember that they're chanting slogans in the way, so it gets stuck in your head. Like how Trump would say, low energy, was it Jeb that he called low energy?
Low energy Jeb.
If they volunteer, Sam, well, they volunteer. So, he keeps saying it, low energy, or Sleepy Joe now, isn't it? Sleepy Joe. It gets stuck in your head. You look at Joe Biden and you go, Sleepy Joe. So if Sargon says something, or if Scrump says something, they can then say, well, look what he said this, he said that. Or demographics. I can't think of things they actually say because it changes every week. But it puts something in your head.
They're not even calling themselves outright anymore. A lot of them are just saying, "Oh, I'm just an identitarian."
Yeah, they say that are the third positionists.
Which was the purpose of my tweet.
I mean, third positionist is probably more accurate because that's what they used to call themselves back in the day. So they're all just kind of realizing.
Well, that's also what the Clintonite neoliberal centrists call themselves.
No, that's not. That was the third way or something like that, but not the third position.
Well, it's similar terminology, isn't it?
Similar terminology, but different thing entirely.
Yeah.
Or is it?
Bill Clinton's a fascist.
Don't. Oh wait, he volunteered, didn't he? Okay, fair enough. He did say I volunteer, but I thought he was volunteering to raid. That's what I thought it was. But okay, he volunteered. It's only 300 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay, Sam, you've had your fix. Are you happy now? So anyway, I really think people need to start getting into activism. We need to actually get out in the real world and start doing things. Like in the Mithraeum, I said, well, we need to actually change some political parties to our advantage.
You're not my real dad. You can't tell me what to do.
Yeah, I want to stay in my bedroom and do
look
nothing
how
all day.
Trump has kind of changed the Republican Party somewhat, right? Not entirely. I don't think he's drained the swamp.
Well, he's made it have less neocons, which in and of itself is actually quite a big
They're all still
change.
there though. A lot of them, a lot of the big ones are still there.
Yeah, they're still there, but they're no longer
Although,
that
when I was
high up.
watching Freedom Alternative, he said you can't really change political parties because they're kind of they're more open, they're like almost like open platforms. But I don't know, you can look at how the Conservative Party has changed all these years, adapting.
Yeah.
I think it's possible, to change it into a classical liberal, liberty-loving party. I think it's
What, the U.S. Republican Party?
no, well, both.
Both of them are really classical liberal.
But if you put your people in there, you only need it's a 10% rule. It doesn't always work, but if you put 10% of the people in there, they can influence the direction of the party to go that way.
Yeah.
It's not about
Well, Joseph, since you want to go into politics, maybe you should do this.
yeah, because think about it, right? All the revolutions, it wasn't really the majority of people necessarily that got the shit done that changed
It's only
the
like 7
society.
to 10%.
Yeah, it was. America was the same, although actually it was more of a third were loyalist, a third were revolutionary. But again, it was a minority of people on either side. Then there was the French Revolution. That was a minority. Or was it really? Yeah, I'd say so. People like Voltaire at first were influencing the direction of France to go that way. But a proper example would be the Italian Wars of Unification. At first, they tried to get a majority of people to agree with it, but even now, there's a lot of Italians that don't agree with reunification. But they realise actually we don't need to convince everyone. Just convince the ones that need convincing. You get a minority of people to make change. Hey presto, 40, 50 years later, Italy's reunited in 1860? 1850?
1861.
Yeah, 1861. It did take them about 40 odd years. But
Yeah.
you've got to remember,
yeah.
back then, they had much less... their technology for communication was not as good.
For me, you have to convince me that, like, right-wing populism is the right way for the party to go.
Who says it needs to be populism? It could be anything. This works for anything. It's amoral. It's not a.
Well, no, I just don't like.
specific.
I just don't like populism in general.
We'll agitate for something else.
I will.
But you've
I'll
got to
bring
find
back-
the people.
It better
who are
not
willing to do
be, status quo, because the
Well-
status quo is not sustainable.
it. No, not long term. It's managed decline. But like I said, it works with anything. But currently, only one side can do it. Although maybe technically two, but I consider them all one side who hate each other. But so anyway, what do you think, Chicago? Is it possible to do such things? Being a
What's
classical
to go and influence a party over time?
or just anything, society over time. Yeah,
Yeah, but you
But-
also need to go and have it be very coordinated.
we do. Yeah, but the thing is, it doesn't have to be strictly.
However, that's
organised,
what
though.
that's also what alt tech can be.
Hmm.
It's a great place to go and coordinate things,
Yeah.
which are not status quo.
And they won't be looking there as well.
Yeah, so that's why if I ever do my own streaming, it's going to be mainly on
I think
Minds or
the
Gab.
yellow vests were using Gab. Even like the Antifa ones and the commies in the yellow vests were all on Gab coordinating to
Yeah,
because the French authorities were just not looking there. They will be now though, but like the thing is, with the way that communications technology is constantly improving, the length it takes to change a society will always shrink. Or maybe it won't. Maybe we finally reached the end of the tether. But it used to be that it would take 80 to 100 years with 18th, 19th century technology to change a society forever. But apparently now it takes only 8 years to make substantial changes. Like we're talking about things in the mainstream that weren't talked about 10 years ago. And yet
Like
here
what?
we are. Anti-feminism, things like that.
Oh yeah, that stuff. Feminism is based.
But you know what I mean? Like it was unheard. Well, not unheard of, but in the mainstream, like The Guardian and stuff like that, they wouldn't have been talking about it. You wouldn't have had the Telegraph have people like Milo you know what I mean, like people like Milo Yiannopoulos talk about it.
Ew, Milo.
Not even Douglas Murray was talking about this stuff all those years ago.
Yeah.
He was talking about
Why did we ever like him again?
Hmm?
Why did we ever like Milo again?
Milo, just because of the reason why I kind of like him still is because he gave voice to a lot of people who, who would have been ignored by the mainstream media. He helped Gamergate find some kind of voice in the mainstream. That's what he was good at, and he was also very good at investigative work when he put his mind to it. He was very good at that. He was just really, really good at drawing attention to things because he's an attention whore.
Ooh, like me.
Yes, exactly.
No,
Obviously,
you're just a whore.
Well, I'm that. and he's a tippity tapper. What are you doing?
Playing Vic 2.
You tippity tapper.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
Tell
I'm
who
sorry,
is the
Dad.
reason, Roy, that why freedom of speech was a mistake. I don't know who you're referring to. Oh, is this the Groypers? I don't know. That would look bad. But anyway.
Yeah.
I think we do need to start looking towards more in real life stuff because being on the internet is not enough.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I think a lot of people don't realise that just because you have a YouTube channel and just because you're on Twitter all day and you interact with people in a bubble means that everybody else in the real world is on Twitter and everybody else agrees with you.
Yeah, literally only 80% of the U.S. adult population on Twitter and 2% of people on Twitter. 10% of people on Twitter are responsible for 90% of tweets,
Exactly.
and that rounds out about 2% of people in the real world.
So, and let's not forget that this has affected mainly the Corbynistas of the world and the Bernie Bros, because they all assume, especially the Labour supporters, they all assumed that the rest of the country basically agreed with them. At least these guys on the internet, because they were all talking about this, and I guess they were only seeing stuff that was being filtered to them via Twitter's obvious bias, and they assumed, well, yeah, everybody's on our side, and then they lose.
Yeah.
Well, no,
Which is
because you're not talking to real people. How do you know what they're actually?
Yeah, which is the thing I was talking about earlier with that Reddit post from 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Although, to be fair to Ron Paul, he had some grassroots support. Like it was something that you couldn't, mock. You could say, yeah, he does have grassroots support. There are people there who see the message, but I think a lot of people hung on to him for too long. The problem with him was that even though Bernie Sanders hasn't had much of a shelf life, Ron Paul did. Like, I think even in 2016, people wanted him, didn't they?
A few people did, yeah. I remember taking.
I know that I think Dick Sachsenhammer was going to vote for Ron Paul, but then decided to vote for Trump. So a lot of Ron Paul supporters have gone on to Trump.
Yeah, exactly. God, he's really old as well. Wow, I didn't think he was 84 now.
Yeah, I remember was taking a road trip somewhere. I can't remember where, but like along the way, I saw a Ron Paul 2012 sign in full wood. And I was like, "Why the fuck?" It was like 2016. I'm like, "Why the fuck do you still have that up?"
I mean, he had some good ideas, but I don't understand why he couldn't transform that grassroots support into something bigger. Like, I don't understand. Maybe I don't know. I mean, again, libertarianism is not a popular ideology even in America.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and this is why I was thinking, like, there's no point supporting parties like the Libertarian Party UK because they're tiny, and most British people are definitely not libertarians.
Mm-hmm.
And the way I see it, and another thing that I was watching, he's Romanian, the guy, by the way. He's on V's channel sometimes. They interview each other. He said that another way you can do it is to, one person at a time, change their assumptions. Because, everybody has basic assumptions about how countries are run, right? How it should be run.
Yeah.
And at the moment, I think it's pretty fair to say that for most people, it's not the right assumptions to be making. So what you do is you don't even try to convince them necessarily. You just make them think. Make them have a little thunk. You make them question things. It takes years, because you're talking to one person at a time. But if you talk to enough people and there's enough of you doing it, well, things change, and they do. It does. It is something that works. It just, again, these things take decades, and this is why I keep asking people, because a lot of people only think about the next 4 years, You got to be thinking about the next 40 years. You can't just think about the next election. That's too short term. Who replaces Trump if he wins? Or even if he loses, like, who's after him? Did the Republican Party continue going down his route? Or did they go back to the neocons? Or did they go down a different path? Nobody knows. Nobody's having that conversation. I mean, again, he could, even though he's quite, he's quite fit for his age. He is approaching 80. He was, he's a boomer. If he dies in office, it would be Pence that replaces him, right?
And Pence is very neoconservative.
I don't know if he is
Pence,
now,
I would
but
not. No, Pence still is, and
Is he?
that's
Yeah.
why I wouldn't support him in 2024.
yeah. Again, who replaces him? I mean, some people are saying Donald Trump Jr., but then you've got the problem of, that's
Donald
dynasty.
Trump Jr. is also owned by Conservative Inc.
Is he?
Yes.
I would have thought he'd be more like his dad, but he
No,
sounds like it
he's-
on Twitter. But I
He's
don't know.
huge friends with Charlie Kirk. And
He is, but
that crowd.
Even
He
Charlie Kirk,
also-
though, right? He didn't
He
start
also
off as
heavily
mainstream.
supports them.
Like, you got, Charlie Kirk, Turning Point, that started off as just literally, this is how it started off. It was just, well, there's no place for us to talk about these things at uni, so we'll just form our own society.
And
then it
and
just
now
blew up.
TPUSA has become Conservative Inc.
Yeah, very quickly. But then again, you got to remember he's an evangelical, so it would have done anyway. I think if he was more, well, that's his religion. I don't think it's his politics per se, but if he wasn't like that already, it wouldn't have been. I think.
I also love how Charlie Kirk scrubbed all of his tweets that he had from back in the day that were criticizing Trump.
Of course he did.
Such a grifter.
A grifter or trying to present the United Front. I mean, there's in Britain.
Yeah, I think
if he was
it's the
part of
latter.
if he was part of the Tory party, they would have told him to do that. The chief whip would have told him to delete those tweets.
Oh yeah. Well, that's also how it works. The UK, in the US, we don't have that much of a focus on being united.
Yeah, because it's very important for the voting system here. Because you know how they do it in Parliament. It's very important for the party to not have people who are called rebels. Tory or Labour rebels, the people who vote against the party line. Because if you need this particular legislation to go through, and it's it's down to the wire, you need people to be literally whipped. Not with a whip and chain, but they need to be whipped into shape. And that's what the party whip does. He makes sure people follow the party line, and they follow policy.
Yeah.
Have you seen The Thick of It? It's the guy who did The Death of Stalin, by the way, the director. He that was the first thing he did, pretty much.
Oh, okay.
And it's about a chief whip of what is. They never name the parties, but you know who they are. So it's the 11th Doctor. He's in it. It was his breakout role, and his job is to whip people to make sure that they follow the party line and don't mess up. He's not the whip. He's the press guy, but he works as a whip anyway, and he just abuses people basically to get them to do what he wants for the party. It's really funny. You should watch it. There's an American version of it too, but I forgot what it was called. But you should definitely watch that because you like Death of Stalin so much.
Oh my god. Now the entire union knows you posted cringe in the tea.
What sneaky little shit.
It's okay, King. We all post cringe sometimes.
I just love that.
Everything I post is cringe.
That
yeah, you're
film is
Italian.
amazing.
Wow.
I like the scene where he where Stalin wants his music and he's like, what time should I ring him at? He said 17 minutes from now. What time is it now? What time was it that he rang? I don't know. It was 1 minute, 2 minutes. Yeah, but what time is it? And Berry is just a little. Oh, he's a little creepy shit, isn't he? In that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Slim Hitler.
No, Beria. This is the Death of Stalin. This is about USSR.
Yeah, I watched that movie.
Yeah. Beria was described by Stalin as his Himmler. That's how bad he was. And he was known for being like a chicken shit. That's what they called him. And so that's like a massive coward. And if you only had power and boots with him that could bully you, he couldn't really do anything against you. And apparently after his trial, when they shot him, he was whimpering and crying. So a fitting end really to someone like him. And he was kind of like the Russian Jimmy Savile in a way. Savile wasn't a politician. He was well connected, and he was enabled by the establishment to do the things that he wanted to do, and he would, assault people.
Do things that he wanted to do, yeah.
And he would always give them a flower, and in the film, he gives them flowers, doesn't he? After he's done his thing.
Jesus.
I just love how they insult each other. Like he says, "I've got a file on all of you." I think is it Malenkov's like, "Well, I was over here. He didn't say he had a file on me." And they're like, "Georgie, he has a file on you." Like, no, I was over here. You're over there. No, they said all of you. I love that. Actually, the guy who plays Malenkov looks like Malenkov in real life. It's kind of spooky how some of them look like him. Like Stalin doesn't really look like Stalin. He's got the stature, but he does. I don't know. He's not quite Stalin. But then, even though Steve Buscemi's good, he doesn't look like Khrushchev, does he?
Yeah, he really doesn't. But I don't care. It's Steve Buscemi.
He cracks me up, that one.
He's funny.
He's funny. Anyway, it's the hour mark, so I think it's time for closing remarks. What do you say, guys?
Yeah.
Last remarks, Italian boy.
Appalachian Boog Boys.
What is that?
It's
What were you
my
up
militia.
to?
This is how we're gonna fight the feds.
Oh, you're going to end the Fed?
Appalachian Boog Boys.
End
Yeah,
the
we're
Fed.
gonna blow it up.
Who needs the Green Boys? We have the Appalachian Boot Boys.
All right, Chicago. Last words.
Free Appalachian.
Okay, so how does Appalachian work? What kind of state would it be?
It's Tennessee and Kentucky and West Virginia, most likely.
And Cap State.
Free Appalachian Boot Boys. Woohoo!
Appalachian.
Okay, last words. Alka gay.
Eugene Goo is stupid and a leech.
Appalachian boob boys.
Bye.
And that's for the rest of you. Get out.